Oh, moving right along. Let's get these and do a real quick open read and just say what else it's going to be pointing out this morning. Give these a good ruffle shuffle. And we'll see what the message is today. Let me shuffle the other deck here real quick. One more. Okay. Now, let's see what we have. The reading's about what's being cut. Things being cut. Cutting disappointment. Okay. Are the cuts bringing disappointment, or are the cuts to disappointment? Let's continue forward and see what it has to say. That card has come up so many times. Look at the fullness of this deck. So, I mean, a lot of people are going through a lot of disappointments now, okay, and have been. So let's see what we have energetically coming in is about friendships, loyalty and friendships, and indulgences. Indulgence. So what brings you wealth? The things that you surround yourself. And indulgence. It doesn't necessarily mean something negative, but the things that you feel are giving you, how do I want to say it, comfort, loyalty, little indulgences. Doesn't need to be something big. Maybe you have an indulgence in lighting some incense, or you have make a bath with some rose petals or something like that. That type of an indulgence. Cutting disappointment. You know, give yourself a little something extra and have your friends surrounding you, those that are loyal. Okay? Indulge with your friends. Go out and do something together, because we are at crossroads, okay? It's a time of crossroads. For liberation. So we can either choose, understand that you're always liberated, okay? That's one thing you find out in the end. In the end, what you find out, now when I started my journey, I was one that was in depression. I had severe PTSD. All of those things were going on. All I wanted to do was be off this plane of existence. I wanted out of here in no uncertain terms. Okay? I did not have a comforting family. I did not have a good crowd of friends around me that were aiding me, etc. And what I found out, when you reached the crossroads and you reached the end of that path, the only thing you needed to be liberated from was the mind spin, the drama, the poor me saga stories that you tell yourself, the way that you continue. You know, one thing I found on the journey as well was, yes, things happened. Okay, sexual abuse happened, rape happens. Homelessness happened, okay? But when you keep replaying them over in your mind, those events happened long ago. And when you keep replaying it, you're victimizing yourself at that point, okay? It took me a while to see that. I go, wait a minute. Why am I playing this over again, okay? I'm victimizing myself now. Yes, those events happened. But if I continue to play those old movies, I'm victimizing myself now. It was enough to go through it once. I don't need to keep replaying it. Okay, so that's what you find out in the end. The only thing you needed to be liberated from, because we're always liberated, we can continue to play the poor me saga, and we have freedom to do that. Or we can cut the disappointment, surround yourself with good friends, and indulge in these little things that bring you comfort. Because we have free will. Free will means that you are a liberated being. You're not being controlled. Now, if you're being controlled by something, you're allowing yourself to be controlled. Okay, so why? Why? To allow yourself to be controlled. The only thing you need to be liberated from is the mentality, that hamster wheel that you've been running on. So let's see what we have next. So the challenge is, something new? Is something new being overturned? Something new? Maybe it's the unwillingness to see something new, being stuck. But let's see what it says. Intuition, okay? So are you open to intuition, or are you closing it off? You know, usually your first inkling is the right one. Maybe you're going into a situation and you feel uncomfortable, and then you talk yourself out of it, and then you wind up in some difficulty, some problem, okay? So usually with intuition, it's that gut feeling, that first thing that comes up. So don't ignore it. So you can either close that off and not allow it in, or the challenge is to open yourself up to it, to understand it, and then to start bringing that within, okay? So the potential outcome is for the people, community. Doesn't necessarily mean women. It could be the divine feminine. The divine feminine, yeah, beginning. Now is coming in the divine feminine, which is more that actually the path of Christ, Yeshua ben Joseph, because he was about compassion. He was about elevating. He was sending what? The Holy Spirit. Okay? The comforter. The Holy Spirit is the comforter. The divine feminine. Okay? And you can begin to have that now if you open yourself up to it and understand you're already a liberated being, unless you're putting those restrictions on yourself. Because what did he say? Always said, fear not. Greater is he that's within you than he that's within the world. In other words, that divine is present. Heaven is at hand. It's here now. Okay? You are in heaven. If you, again, allow yourself to have that intuition and bring in the divine feminine, and you continue to live from there. Extra information is about long-term. Long-term. Life. Okay? Life. The life path you're walking. And don't allow yourself to become overloaded. Okay? If you're taking on too much and you're overloaded, then again, it's time to cut that disappointment, time to, again, rally around good support system, your friends, indulge in a little something that's going to aid you. Understand you're at a crossroads. Liberation is there if you accept it. Open yourself up to more intuition, because the divine feminine is now coming in to play even more acutely during this time. It's the beginning. So it's time to see your life and let go of this overload. What is that saying? Let go and trust God. okay? Rather than trying to get in a boat and paddle upstream when you've got a raging thing going this way, get in the boat, go with the flow, and make it easy. But so many people want to get in that boat and try to go upstream against the current. It's about understanding the current. You know, astrology too. Astrology is bringing out, I like to call them the challenges that you may have in life. Things that you brought in to challenge yourself with. Opportunities and challenges. That's it. It's opportunities and challenges. So how are you going to use these? It doesn't mean that it's a dead set thing, this horrible things are going to happen. No, it just means that there may be some challenges. And this is what you came in to, again, learn to navigate, learn lessons from. The more difficult challenge it is, usually it's the greater the lesson that you get from it, the knowledge, the import, okay? So it's about cutting that disappointment, having a good system of loyal. Now the divine is always loyal. I see people that want to blame God for everything. Well, no, we have free will. What we face are the outcome of our choices, okay? So don't be blaming God for this and God for that. God is not up there, putting out this directive, because if God were putting out this directive, you would not have free will, okay? You have free will. So again, you can't be blaming God for the things that are taking place. All of this is illusion in a way. I talk about it like, when you're having a dream at night and it can seem really real, and then you wake up and go, oh, it was only a dream. Well, it's the same thing like this. This is the dream state that you're going through now, and when you leave the physicality of form, then you go into reality. But this is another dream state, just like you have the dream at night. Now, if you have lucid dreaming, you're aware that you're dreaming, you're aware that you're in the midst of the dream, and you can change it as you go through. Just like if you are aware that this is another type of a dream state, and you are lucid, aware, and awake to that, you can change it. So what are you going to change it to be? Are you going to be a liberated being? Or are you going to surround yourself with mental restrictions, darkened mindset, and close these things off, and then bitch and complain about how the universe is so unfair? Up to you. So on that note, I'll leave that here. And hopefully somebody's gotten something out of this.